Welcome to Delta Green, Impossible Landscapes, brought to you by Black Project Gaming. Get read in at blackprojectgaming.com. I'm Vince, your host and handler for this campaign. Joining me are Brett as FBI Hostage Rescue Team Operator Ira Breuer, also known as Agent Morgan. Cami as Dr. Jenny Archer, Anthropologist and Delta Green friendly. Doug as FBI Special Agent Mark Hansom, also known as Agent Meshach. And Jack as FBI Special Agent Cassandra Troy, also known as Agent Madison. Impossible Landscapes is a campaign of wonder, horror, and conspiracy, written by Dennis Detwiller for Delta Green, the role-playing game. For more information on Delta Green, please visit delta-green.com. This podcast is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. It is Friday, 28 August 2015. It has been 20 years since the events in Manhattan and New York City at the Macallister Building. And since then, you all have continued your respective careers with the group, with Delta Green. All of you have investigated a wide variety of events, incidents, incursions throughout the past 2 decades. And that has taken a toll. But for the most part, you still have some semblance of sanity, some semblance of focus as you continue on your respective missions for whatever motivations, whatever reasons you still have left to cling on to. But when that Friday evening rolls around, you all receive by FedEx an invitation to a private birthday party. And I will show you that invitation now. And this is at your homes. You receive the invitation at your homes after work, before the beginning of the weekend. And it should show up there. The craftsmanship of the invitation is detailed and expensive. The front of the card is embossed with a stylized green triangle, so you understand you have been summoned to a Delta Green briefing. The text is apparently rendered in fine handwriting with odd flourishes and reads, "Please join us to celebrate the 51st birthday of our friend, Richard Geloni, at the Gateway Bridges Restaurant, 9011 Potash Street, Boston, Massachusetts, 02121 617 218 2099. The address for the party is given as the I already gave that to you, sorry. The time and date is 8 p.m. on Tuesday, September 1st, 2015, as the date of this notional party. None of you know a Richard Geloni, but the presence of the green triangle lets you know in no uncertain terms that you have been summoned by the group. But you do have time in between today, the 28th, and the 1st of September, if there's anything you want to do in the meantime.
If I call the number, does it just go to the restaurant?
It does, yep.
Okay.
So it actually dials through to the restaurant in Boston.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll just hang up then, just making sure.
Okay.
Would it be possible to, during these couple days, to go to probably like one of the libraries to use their internet to do any kind of like research to see if I could find out who Richard Zelani is or anything about the restaurant?
Absolutely. Yep. So I will say, with the time that you have, searching the name on the internet, you find out that Geloni is Polish for green.
So it seems like a pseudonym.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Got you.
As far as the restaurant itself, it is it's in the Dorchester neighborhood of Boston. It is a Mediterranean restaurant. It's owned by an Eduardo Diaz, age 52. And from what you can tell, it's been in the neighborhood since 1981. It's got a 4-star rating on Yelp, remains a favorite of locals for their Tuesday, Friday, buy one, get one free appetizer nights. Food seems relatively unremarkable, and from what you can tell, it employs probably about 19 people.
Okay. Then yeah, other than that, I'll just try to re-up on some medication and wait the days until I have to fly out there.
All right. What's Jenny up to during that time?
Yeah, so it's the weekend, you said, right? It's Friday evening that we got this?
Correct. Yeah, after
Okay.
you all get back home from your respective days at your respective offices.
Yeah, so I think she probably what does she do on the weekends? I didn't think about enough of the normal stuff. I think she will probably call Rachel, see how she's doing, just kind of check in with her week, how her school week went. And then other than that, she will head to sure, I'll just say that she has a standing therapy appointment on Saturday mornings, so she'll do that, and then she'll just kind of, nothing specific, just kind of going about her day and getting ready for the next job by trying to stay as sane as she can in the meantime.
Makes sense. How about Ira?
It's probably a little bleak. I think if there's overtime to be got, he'll get it, and then if not, he will work out and go to the gun range, and fucking sit in his house, I guess.
Okay.
He thinks about picking up the phone and calling someone several times, but doesn't.
Fair enough. And how about Mark?
What's the date again?
So the date that you get the invitation is the 28th, the 28th of August, and the date of the meeting is September 1st.
What year?
2015.
2015. Okay. So...
Just over 20 years after the events at the Macallister Building.
Right. So, I mean, Mark's got a busy weekend. He's got soccer practice and there's a game on Saturday evening. He's got ferry all the kids around. Ma doesn't like to drive very much, so he has to do most of that when they can't get rides with their friends on the weekends. And yeah, he is busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
I figured as much. But I am curious, with your and Cassie's forensic skills, do either of you kind of want to study the invitation a little more? Or are you kind of just
Sure. Mark's got like a 50 in forensics, but
I would. However, given my current situation, I don't know if it would impose on my my score, like if I would have to take it as a penalty or something like that because I don't have equipment.
No. So you can, even just looking at it, because your forensics are both pretty high.
Yeah, 70.
Yeah, and then I think even Mark's are 50, right?
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would just say, just giving it a look over. The calligraphy itself on the invitation is the writing suggests that the person is right-handed and has some kind of formal training in calligraphy, probably male. But other than that, you'd need to obviously do a much more. You'd need equipment to do a much more forensic examination of that invitation.
Do the strange flourishes? Does it look like anything I've ever researched, or does it look like this, like the signature or like the penmanship of someone who maybe has some kind of disorder or something like that?
No, not from what you can tell.
It looks very like deliberate, but also chaotic.
Right. Yeah. I'd say roll an alertness or a search.
Okay, what do I got?
And you can do the same, Mark, if you'd like to do that.
Yeah. Do search. 23 out of 71.
Nice.
Ooh, a 4 out of 72.
Beautiful. One thing you notice about the invitation is there are almost these barely perceptible certain letters are marked with these small, nearly transparent pencil marks. It's like a single dot of light gray lead. And as you go through the invitation, you see that the marked letters spell out H, E, L, P, M, E.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Mental note.
Yeah.
This is gonna be good. This has got to be all right, right?
Uh-oh.
That's fine.
And how far away is the invitation?
How far away is?
Yeah, sorry. It's the invitation arrived on August
28th.
August 28th. And when is the
September 1st.
September 1st. Okay, so it's less than a week.
Right.
Okay. Mark is going to take the letter into work with him. And being that, he works daily on matters of fraud and identity theft and those sorts of things, he has quite a bit of forensics tools available to him at work. So can I study the letter any further?
Yeah, I'd say with access to forensics equipment, specifically a microscope and a UV light, you're able to determine that the paper stock is luxuriant and hand pressed by all appearances actually made at home by an expert. There's no obvious craftsman's marks, stamps, or dyes. And from what you can tell, the paper is folded and glued almost like a picture in a frame. And it's covering a large area of paper beneath the invitation itself. And you might actually be able to separate it if you'd like to do that.
Oops. Yes, Mark is going to get out a scalpel or craft knife and try and separate the paper to look underneath it.
Okay.
Also examining it under the UV light.
Okay. Let me show you what you find. So you find a hidden area of paper with a large portion of handwritten text scribbled in ballpoint pen. With your forensic score, you recognize the text as what's known as a request exemplar, which is essentially a gibberish portion of text a suspect is asked to write so their handwriting could be compared to a specific piece of evidence. The one thing that stands out to you is this gold foil stamp with a strange symbol and the letters PURSON. Do you have any occult?
Only very little, I think. I got a 20.
Okay. So with that, you do recognize it as a symbol from demonology, found in an occult text called the Ars Goetia. And as soon
Goetia?
ARS, first word, second word GOETIA.
All right.
And almost as soon as you put eyes on that symbol and you realize what it is, the fire alarm in the building goes off, startling you out of your focus.
I am going to take the letter with me. It's a fire alarm.
Yeah.
I guess we gotta get out of here.
It ends up being a false alarm. Nobody really knows or understands what triggered it. Assumed to be a fault in the system.
All right. Is there a possibility? I think this would probably be stretching it for my forensics ability, but is there a possibility of linking this handwriting? Are there databases of their handwriting?
There are not. So that would be, you would have to be able to compare it to a known sample. But what you do know is that the writing on the exemplar and then the writing on the invitation itself do not match.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Or at least they were using a very different style of writing with the calligraphy.
Right.
Well, I'm going to keep that. Now, over my 20 years, I don't. I mean, I haven't really had any contact with the Delta Green organization, right?
Oh no, you would have still been called in, and you would have
Oh.
gone on operations with them. Absolutely.
Oh, I would have thought I for sure would have lost San if I had done that.
That was evident. That was essentially the damaged veteran package that you took.
Okay, all right, yeah, because most of my damage was just from things that happened in my life.
Yeah. It has not been a good 20 years.
No, it's not.
But yeah, your bonds took most of that damage. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you definitely you maybe not as frequently. I mean, it probably ebbed and flowed, but you absolutely still would have had some work
Okay.
with the organization.
None of the communications I've gotten from Delta Green have contained handwriting on them, have they?
No, this is a new method of contact and a new method of summons.
Yeah.
Like especially as the 2000s, gave way to the 2010s, most communications went online, secure messaging forums, applications, encryption.
Yeah.
This is old school. And you do know, working for Delta Green, that they do tend to favor the older methods of tradecraft, some of the Cold War methodologies.
Right.
But even then, this is out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus, Agent Marcus, your handler, your case officer, has never used this method to contact you all.
Right. Yeah. It's in the Cap. For some reason, it's in Cap's case. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking at it for anything, but yeah, I don't get anything else from this.
Yeah, that's the most you're going to be able to, after poring it over for the next couple of days and using your time to really study this. There's nothing else that really stands out to you, but you found plenty.
I'm going to. Can I spend some time investigating what this person symbol is about?
You sure can. So if you just want to take some time to Google, you should be able to do so, because now Google is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the information age.
Hell yeah.
And we have cell phones too.
You can look up Google on your cell phone now.
So
Let me find the website, because there's a website.
Oh my god.
Yep, the fine folks at Arc Dream actually put together a no kidding website.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yep, there you go.
This is awesome.
Oh, damn.
So Person is a great king of hell, being served and obeyed by 22 legions of demons. He knoweth of hidden things, of lost treasures, and of all things past, present, and future. Occupying either a human or aerial body, he answereth truly of all secret and divine things of earth and the creation of the world. Person is depicted as a man with the face of a lion, carrying a ferocious viper and riding a bear. Before him there can be heard trumpets sounding. Which brings to mind the fire alarm you heard as soon as you laid eyes on that symbol.
Before him can be heard trumpets sounding. So, as we discussed, I don't know if you were listening, but since we do have bonds, I'm assuming that we have some way to get in contact with our bonds.
So there is the way Delta Green would prefer it, where you would have no contact with each other outside of the field and outside of your tasked operations.
Yeah.
And then there's the way that things likely really happen, where people do maintain some kind of contact with one another, whether that's through burner phone or other secure means of communication.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Mark will, when he gets back, he'll go into his desk. He's got a locked drawer in his desk, and it contains a few cryptic pages of information that seem like they're nothing but are just information that he keeps about the past. the things that he's done. And in there, he also keeps a burner phone. And he'll pick that up and dial Jenny's number.
All right.
Oh.
Jenny will answer.
Hey, Jenny. This is Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, long time no see. Jenny, I got something coming up, and it's the darndest thing. I don't know. I know a little bit about this stuff, but I know that you studied this stuff. You ever hear of somebody called a person? P-U-R-S-O-N.
DM, would I know any other information than what's already been shared?
I don't believe so. That would be, yeah. I mean, you would know that. What's your occult score at?
Oh, it's high now.
Yeah,
it's at 70 now.
Yeah.
right. So you would know that essentially it is, it pretty much what Mark was able to find out, that it is a name that is contained in the Ars Goetia, which is a grimoire and of magic that was probably written sometime in the 17th century.
Would I have ever come across any maybe sort of information on cults or followers, or less about the demon and more about any kind of folklore or stuff around people who believe in him and all of that in all of my studies?
Well, let's find out. So, not particularly. So there's nothing specifically related to the worship of person, but you do know that the Ars Goetia has been used throughout history to, invoke and potentially summon demonic entities. At least in the occult community, whether or not it actually works or not is
Right.
Up for debate.
Okay. Yeah, I'll share that.
You mean there are folks who summon things like this?
Sure. I mean, to varying degrees of success, I'm sure. Most of it's just people fumbling around with, candles they bought from Target, but occasionally I think there's enough that we've encountered to believe that occasionally the real deal might be out there trying to actually summon something.
Look, I know it's a long shot, but you ever hear of any of this activity going on around Boston? That's apparently where I'm heading.
From the invitation?
Well, wait, you got an invitation too?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like official Delta Green kind of stuff. I figured we might all get one.
Jenny, do me a favor. If you look at the invitation, there's like a piece of paper glued onto a backing. Really carefully now. Try and peel that off with like a knife or something.
Yeah, I think you kind of hear her set the phone down. It's on speaker, so you can hear her. She can hear you, but she'll kind of look for what he just mentioned, and then, assuming she finds it, try to very carefully with like some tweezers or something pry it apart.
And real quick, Jenny, what is your occult score again?
Occult is 70.
All right, yeah. So I would say you do know that the Ars Goetia is rumored to be the first book of what's called the Lemmageddon, which is the Lesser Key of Solomon. It is a grimoire that circulated in the 17th century, penned by someone using the pseudonym King Solomon. The book itself has existed in numerous languages and pieces before it was assembled sometime in the mid-17th century. Before then, from what your knowledge of the occult tells you, it was scattered throughout other scrolls, books, folios. It essentially details 72 different demons, as well as seals they must pay allegiance to, and it lists the demons by name, as well as kind of what domains they have, lordship over.
Noted. Okay.
Seals,
I
they
assume she shared that as well.
like by seals. You got that paper up yet?
And I will say, Jenny, yeah, following Mark's instructions, you're able to kind of replicate his own results and find that
She sees
exemplar.
the same thing.
As soon as you see that symbol on that letter, that exemplar, you hear a screech of tires and the honk of a horn as somebody either comes to a stop or runs a stop sign just outside your apartment, your house, wherever it is you're living. But as soon as you see that symbol, this reverberating, echoing honk of a horn just splits your eardrums.
Ah, dang it. What was that, Jenny?
Yeah, I think she jumps because she was like looking at this so intently and trying to very carefully peel it apart, and then she sees that and just wasn't paying attention to anything else, and then for that just to break through, she definitely jumps a little bit. But no, just a car outside, I think. Jesus, it scared me. Okay, I'm looking at what looks like a hidden letter with the symbol, I'm assuming says person.
I mean, the letter, does it start off with like our London business, all that stuff?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's nothing. That's like it's standard text they use for handwriting specialists. Kind of like you ever open up those things and it says ipso factum, that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's somebody's handwriting, and it's a good sample of it.
What does it mean that this is attached to our invitations? Should we be concerned?
Maybe it's a warning.
Could our invitations be fake? I mean, I don't get many letters from Delta Green or party invitations like this. I don't know about you, but normally it's a little bit more modern.
I certainly don't get nothing in somebody's handwriting like this. Wait, did you look at the front?
Yeah? The
Look
invitation?
Look at each one of the... See those little dots? You got little dots up above on the paper, right?
And she takes a closer look this time. Probably just assuming they were little ink stains or something before, but yeah.
Oh yeah. You see the dots.
What's it spell?
I say, help me?
Something tells me this ain't your normal mission.
Should we meet up before the 1st?
I mean, we only got a few days, but heck, Jenny. I mean, I don't even know where I'm up here in Buffalo.
I'm still in the city, right where you left me.
I mean, yeah, I might be able to take a sick day.
Well, or we can just reach out to the others, see if I'm assuming they got something similar. Maybe we just head to Boston a day early and try to sort out how careful we need to be going into this.
Right. I mean, I didn't get any travel arrangements or nothing. I guess I'm gonna have to make that by myself.
Yep.
Jenny, you said something about these demons having to respond to these seals.
Right. Theoretically.
Is that thing on the back a seal?
Is it a seal or is it just the symbol for person?
So they're what's synonyms?
Sigils.
No, yeah, they're the same thing.
Okay.
Seal, symbol. Yep. So that is what would that symbol on the back of the invitation is commonly referred to as a seal.
Okay. Yeah, that's the seal.
All right. Yeah, let's make plans to go a little bit earlier, and yeah, I'm You want to call Ira or should I?
Yeah, I have his burner number here somewhere. You got Cassandra?
Yeah, I'll call Cassie. See if she got the same thing.
Sounds good. I guess I'll probably see you soon, one way or the other.
All right. Yeah. I wish I could say I was looking forward to it.
Oh, come on, you're gonna make me feel bad.
Well, no, it's not you. You know that. But it's been a long time since we've been together, and we kind of left things, I don't know, up in the air.
Yeah, well. Stay safe until I see you, okay?
All right. You too. Take care.
Yep.
Bye now. And, Mark is going to call Cassie.
Okay.
He would not be able to get a hold of her.
Okay.
Jenny will call Ira on the regular phone number.
Yeah, he'll answer.
Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Hey.
You get a weird invitation to a party in the mail?
Yeah, I was thinking about calling you about that. You got one too?
Yeah, and I actually just heard from Mark. He got one too, so I'm assuming Cassie did as well, but I guess he did some forensic stuff on it, and there's a little bit more to it than just being a weird old-timey invitation.
Yeah, I kind of thought there might be.
Yeah, so she'll kind of break down everything that's been discussed and let him know about the back part and the demon stuff and the symbol and the dot spelling out help me and all of that stuff.
Has anybody spoken to our handler?
No, I haven't. I don't think Mark has either. Didn't sound like it.
Okay, I'll see if I can get a hold of them.
Yeah, let me know what you find out. We were
Okay.
thinking about maybe heading up a day early or something just to touch base with everyone and just, get our bearings and figure out what exactly we're potentially dealing with.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, I will hear from you or see you soon, one or the other.
I'll see you soon, Jenny.
Okay. Be careful.
You too. And then after that, Ira is going to attempt to get a hold of the handler.
So I will say, especially after about 2000, 2001, the group's tradecraft definitely became more paranoid. They went more off the grid. They moved away from electronic methods of communication, except like really as a last resort. Again, kind of moving almost backwards to more historical Cold War based styles of tradecraft and communication, making it much more difficult to kind of get a hold of people when you were not on an active operation. It is very much a don't call us, we'll call you kind of relationship. But if you do have a number for your handler, they do not answer. You're unable to get a hold of them.
If the thing is like not to call them, but to contact them in another way, Ira will dead drop something or, whatever the accepted method
Sure.
is.
Yeah. So there's really no way for you to get a hold of your case officer until they themselves need to get a hold of you.
Oh, dang. That seems short-sighted.
I get the feeling it's a very top-down organization.
Yeah, that's...
It is.
Man, okay.
So you don't know much, but you do know that after a certain point in time, there was a period there in the 2000s where it was you had no operations, you had no missions. It was almost probably, I'd say, a full year before you were contacted again. And it was strange. It was a strange silence. But after that point, they were definitely, the people you were dealing with and the people you worked for definitely seemed to get significantly more paranoid.
Then never mind that thing that he said to Jenny about contacting the handler, because that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, okay. He will not do that stuff.
Okay.
He'll go lift some weights and eat some pasta in the dark by himself.
There are very specific reasons for that. In the overall meta plot of the game, yeah.
For sure. He just doesn't really have a lot going on in his life right now, so yeah, he'll just do some sad, lonely dude stuff, and wait for the day when he can go and hang out with his friends. Friends.
Cassie, do you eventually check your messages?
You mean like text messages or voice messages?
Voicemail, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you would have left a message, Mark.
Oh no, she changed her numbers.
Ew.
Yeah, she's distanced herself from the rest of the party as much as she can, and whenever called upon by Delta Green, has only used that as an excuse to communicate with anyone else in that kind of field.
Okay. So yeah, Mark, you are unable to get a hold of Cassie for whatever reason.
Well, I know who I'm projecting on.
Yeah. So, all right. So do you three then head to Boston early? And how much early? Or how much earlier?
I mean, I think probably just the night before, right?
Yeah, I think Jenny would probably get there the morning of the day before. So what is it? Is it the 31st or the 30th? Whatever August is. And just,
31st.
Yeah, she'll probably find hotel recommendations for everyone and be like, hey, this is where I'm staying. Get everything situated that way and just make herself comfortable.
Okay.
I think Ira would go a couple of days ahead of time, maybe 2 days ahead. And yeah, I don't think he's going to do any boots on the ground investigation or anything like that, because that's not really his shtick, but he would go there a little early, maybe for lack of better things to do.
Okay. Do you check out the restaurant at all while you're in the city?
Yeah, he would probably actually go and stop there first off.
Okay. So checking out the meat site.
Yeah, I think he would actually just go and have dinner there if he could. If it's not operations only kind of a place. The very first. I know, I thought that too, Jack. The very first.
Fuck off.
The very first night that he gets in, I think he's maybe maybe they'll come early too, and we can talk about what's going on or whatever. And then realizing that he's the only one that arrived several days early, he'll go to the restaurant and see if he can have dinner there.
Yeah, easy enough. It's definitely not difficult to get in. You don't need really a reservation to eat there. It's a one-story Mediterranean restaurant with a kind of terraced area on the outside, a large dining room with 11 tables, kitchen in the utility area, and there are 2 private party rooms in the back beyond the restrooms.
Okay. Yeah, he'll scope out he'll go sit on the terrace, have a meal, and maybe try and engage the waiter in a little bit of conversation and be like, I'm coming here for a party in a couple of days and just wanted to check out the place ahead of time.
Yeah, and they'll engage you in conversation. And I will say, kind of with your background and your experience, you notice that the restaurant kind of backs up onto this park, a small stone-walled municipal park that seems to empty around sundown. It would be pretty easy to set up an overwatch position there to kind of keep an eye on the party rooms specifically that face the windows, and you pretty much hide out behind the bushes with minimal fear of being discovered or stumbled upon.
He notes that. Kind of asks a couple of pretty benign questions, like, do you guys throw big functions very often? Has the person that set up this function, have they done that before?
Yeah, so they do functions pretty regularly. They're in their, they rent out their party rooms pretty regularly. But the individual in question, this Richard Gelone, Jesus, I already lost the name. This Richard Gelone has never made a reservation with them before.
Okay, yeah. He'll drink his wine and eat his food and pay up and go back to the hotel.
All right. And we'll say the others join you there on the 31st of August, the day before the 1st, which is a Monday.
Except for Cassandra, right? Because she has no idea.
Correct, except for Cassandra. Cassandra is going to be tardy to the party.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I think Jenny will just send a text to when she gets there and she's settled in with her room number, that she's available whenever anyone else is ready to chat.
Yeah, he might even pick you up. Did you drive or fly?
That's a good question. Probably, we'll say she drove. Seems like a nice drive. Some time to think. So we'll say she drove.
Her personal vehicle, or did she rent one?
She rented one.
That's a girl. All right.
Yeah. I'm learning.
Hell yeah, good call.
He'll go and knock on your door as soon as he gets the text from you.
Yeah, she'll open it. Hey, have you been here for a while?
Hey, no, just since last night.
Oh, cool. She'll step aside, let you in.
He comes in a little awkwardly.
Have you heard from the others at all?
No, just you. I don't really hear from Cassandra much.
Yeah, I think her line was disconnected or something when I tried to call her a while back. I don't know.
Do you think she'll come?
I mean, she hasn't really turned down a job yet, and it seems like a job.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Went to the restaurant.
How was the food?
Actually, pretty good.
Any obvious demonology? Maybe the decor? A couple symbols? Creepy people in robes in the back room, maybe?
I mean, they overcharged for their wine, but other than
Got it.
how's a kid?
She's good. She's growing fast.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah. I was gonna order up some wine, if you want a glass, while we wait for Mark to get in.
Yeah, never said no yet.
Yeah, so she'll do that. She'll get a bottle of wine and pour them both a glass and wait for Mark, probably just chat a little bit.
Yeah, we won't go through the little chit chat or whatever, but anybody observing it would notice that Ira is much more talkative than he has been in the past, and a little bit more animated too. Like he's not quite as closed off.
I like it. And we'll say eventually. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, just so I have some clarification. So we've been working together on gigs over the past 20 years, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so when is like the last time we would have worked a gig together?
So with it being August, I'd probably say earlier in the year at the earliest.
Oh, okay. 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 Yeah, that's fine. just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, but I mean, just because you've been working with us doesn't mean that your number still works.
Well, so here's the thing. If it was that recent, you all would know why she hasn't gotten in touch with you all. But I can leave that for later.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Mark will show up. Are we staying at the embassy suites at the airport?
As good a place as any.
Yeah, that works.
All right. Yeah. Mark will come in, will arrive and dump his stuff in the room and find out where Jenny and Ira are staying and call up each of their rooms to figure out where they are.
Yeah, I think Jenny would have texted you her room number and where she was and everything. Yeah.
So Mark will go to Jenny's room. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, Mark. Good to see you. Come on in. You want some wine? We just opened a bottle.
I'm not there yet.
Okay. Give it a few hours.
Well, how's everything going?
Good.
Yeah. I mean, relatively speaking, considering she kind of like holds the invitation.
And I will ask, how does everyone look after these past 20 years? Like, what have been the big physical changes? What's different about each of your characters? We'll start with Ira.
Ira looks. We'll just drop it here. Boop, boop, boop. He looks like that. Like he looks like he's had like a bit of a tough time. He's definitely not as clean cut as he was before. He's a little shaggier, but he definitely looks like he's kept himself physically capable. He's one of those like older-ish dudes who's essentially been working out for his entire life, and he now looks like he's carving hardwood. But yeah, he's a little haggard around the eyes, a little bit more lines.
How about you, Jay?
But friendlier. Like I would say maybe a little bit less intimidating than he was before.
So Joel from The Last of Us?
Joel from The Last of Us. That's a picture of Joel from The Last of Us.
Okay.
When I was looking for pictures for what Ira would look like, I actually Googled Joel from The Last of Us. So
Nice. Jenny, I will upload a picture that I have. Basically Kelly Riley is what we're going for, specifically her as Beth Dutton in Yellowstone. But I think she looks like well adjusted. She looks like she's genuinely doing pretty okay. She wears, she's a professor. They probably would know this because she like holds conversations. She's a professor at NYU, so she's generally pretty well dressed and everything, and looks like she's kept herself relatively fit as needed for her new job that she's had since the last time they met. And I think looks like a normal human person, which might be a little odd considering everything else.
And I would say at this point, you all know that Jenny is a full-fledged member of the group at this point and has the cover name of Agent Maines.
right.
Nice.
How about you, Mark?
Mark looks remarkably young for his age. He's got a few creases, smile lines mostly. He still talks a lot and laughs a lot, and if anything, he's maybe the past several years gotten a little bit skinnier. Not working out as often as he would like, and but he's that manifests itself in a loss of muscle mass mostly, not necessarily any kind of a gut or anything like that. He's still got the suit and tie on. Looks exactly like an FBI agent. He's waiting for central casting to call him.
Love it. So the rest of the day, day is yours. So if you showed up the night before, you've got a good probably about, I'd say 24 hours, a little over at this point, to kind of game plan.
Ira will let them know about the observations that he made while he was at the restaurant, and about the thing in the back. He'll actually maybe pitch the idea that they should all go there together again tonight, because he knows he's not the most observant or intelligent of the group.
Hey, Ira, did Jenny tell you about that thing and the invitation? Did you bring yours?
I did bring mine, yes.
Did Ira peel off the paper, or is it still intact?
It would still be intact, but he'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, if you don't mind. I mean, yeah, I brought a field kit with me. Mark pulls out a little kind of razor blade and carefully peels off the letter and turns it over.
It is the same as what you received.
And I show it to Ira.
Yeah, she did tell me about that.
Did anything happen when I showed it to Ira?
Oh, yeah. The building's fire alarms start going off.
All right, now. As we're...
Like they actually do?
They do.
Or Ira just hears it?
Nope. The building's fire alarms, everybody can hear it start going off.
God damn it. Guess we have to go.
No, Ira, that's the same thing that happened when I first looked at that symbol.
The fire alarm went off?
I don't know what it is, but that symbol holds some kind of power, and I don't think that's the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we even if it's a false alarm, we better go, right?
If it's a false alarm, I wouldn't bother.
Jenny, you heard a car horn when you looked at it, didn't you?
Yeah, like someone got in an accident or almost got in an accident.
Daggone. Demons. I knew the Lord was going to call on me one day, but I'm not sure if I'm ready.
I don't think this is the Lord calling, Mark.
Well, he's got his ways.
Did y'all ever think the smart thing to do might be to not look at the symbol?
There he is.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to not look at something you don't know exists until you see it.
Yeah, but when you do.
All right, I take your point. Well, you always were the cautious one.
Yeah.
Jenny takes a drink of her wine.
That was Ira.
While all this is going on, what's Cassie up to?
So she's getting ready to fly out from LA, knowing that she's going to be getting in pretty early in the morning. So she is making sure that she's doing everything that she can to stay awake. She has done all the research that she knows that she can do, and because she doesn't have the equipment, nor has she had any contact with the others, she doesn't know about the other side of the invitation. So she kind of spends her night just going through some of the old artifacts, like especially with the invitation and this just a general feeling that she has. She starts to look through some of the old pieces of evidence that she collected from the old case, from the night floors. It's something that she does often, actually. Just kind of going through everything, not necessarily looking for something new, but just looking for something to understand.
Well, those are all gone. So,
oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah, unless you guys removed it. From what I understand, you didn't remove it from Abigail's apartment before you blew up the building.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the book, like the book of.
Oh, the scrapbook.
Yeah, the scrapbook and like the pictures, the Polaroids that she took.
Got it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, none of the other stuff, just the stuff that she collected.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, you go through the scrapbook and you pour through the Polaroids that you had taken of the crime scene of Abigail's apartment. Nothing stands out to you as being overtly similar to the invitation or the handwriting.
Yeah, she suspected that. It's just more just the force of habit.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Oh, go on.
I was gonna say almost a compulsion almost probably
Exactly.
at this point.
Absolutely. And then, yeah, as part of that kind of ritual that she does, she will kind of do her rounds, so to speak, through the streets of Skid Row, just kind of keeping an eye out, seeing if she sees anything that looks suspicious, especially things that might involve murals or weirdos in silver robes or anything like that. But provided nothing like that shows itself, she'll go back to her apartment and just take her medication and stay up as long as she can, and we'll stay up overnight until her flight the next morning.
Okay. And I will say, in these past 20 years, you have yet to see any remaining sign of, figures in silver robes and white masks. It's almost enough to get you to let your guard down. Almost, but not quite.
Yeah. She hasn't seen it in the real world, but she's had dreams of it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what
Bad
keeps
enough.
her up at night. Yeah.
So we'll return to the trio of M-Cell agents in Boston. What's the game plan?
We're going to head to the restaurant, right? We probably better do that. A fancy place like that won't be open in the afternoon.
It's not that fancy, is it? It's kind of like medium fancy.
Yeah, I'd say medium fancy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, 4 stars on Yelp, not like 4 Michelin stars.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So you could rock up there in regular clothes and be totally fine. Just like
totally.
a nice place. Yeah.
Yep. It's nice enough.
Yeah, you can do that.
All right. You all head over to the Gateway Bridges restaurant. And, Ira points out the park that it butts up against and the little Overwatch area he potentially identified. You head inside, and you do notice that there is a sign on a stand outside of one of the private party rooms that says Private Function, Richard Jelani Birthday. But other than that, nothing else appears different or unusual.
Is there any kind of like art on the walls or anything like that might stand out as being interesting?
No, I'd say it's all
Okay.
like real kitschy, Greek paintings, like all of the
Right.
typical, like the Acropolis and all the other stuff. It's just very faux Greek.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you have an uneventful meal. The food is nothing really to write home about. It's good enough. It gets the job done. But nothing unusual that you notice. Talking with the wait staff, nothing stands out to you as being unusual. Nobody acting out of the ordinary or what you would assume would be out of the ordinary. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if there's nothing unusual and nothing that anybody's really noticing, Ira will just take the time to kind of like chat with them about what's going on in their lives and that kind of stuff. Slightly awkwardly, but still
Get a nice pasta
making an
dinner.
effort. Sorry, what did you say, Jack?
Oh, I said get a nice pasta dinner. You're at a nice Italian restaurant.
Is it Italian? I don't know why. I thought it was Greek.
Oh, I thought it was
Mediterranean.
Italian.
It's like Mediterranean.
Okay.
Potato. I don't know.
Get some souvlaki, man.
Ugh, love a souvlaki.
Yeah. As usual, Mark is very animated in his conversation. He'll tell you all about, little Jimmy. Not so little anymore. He's going into senior year this year. Can you believe it? Of course, Sally tried out for the cheerleading last year, didn't make it, but being a sophomore, being a freshman, she's hoping this year things will go differently. Hank is Hank, I don't know about that boy. He needs to get a fire lit under him or something. And little Bubba, after the accident, I keep an eye on him. I wonder if he remembers anything. I don't think he does, but I hope I'm right.
Out of character, do we know the details of this accident? Would he have shared that with us?
I mean, if we've been working together all these years, I think you probably would. It was about 8 years ago. Sharon, Mark's girlfriend, who became his wife, had an accident with Bubba, their youngest, who was just 1 years old at the time, and she was killed. Yeah, so 2007. That's right, isn't it, Vince?
It is.
I will say, probably you know that in 2007, Jenny's mom was killed in a mugging. You would know that. I think if Mark had shared that with her, I think she would feel comfortable at least sharing that also happened in 2007.
Yeah.
I think Ira mentions that something had happened to him in 2007, but not what specifically it was. And he had also had a rough year.
You guys can see that Mark is still wearing his wedding ring, even though Sharon's been gone now for about 8 years. But yeah, most of the rest of the time, he talks about football and cheerleading and all the kids' activities, and complains about his mother, and yeah, that's basically what he talks about mostly.
Yeah, Jenny will ask if he has any recent pictures of the kids or something. I think she...
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, she figured he would.
I thought you'd never ask. He pulls out his wallet. He's got one of those thick wallets, and all the pictures come out of all 4 of them.
Yeah,
Good looking bunch of kids you got there, Mark.
Well, they take after their mother. That's what I always say. Right? Thank goodness they don't take after me.
I don't think I was heavily participating in the conversation, but he's kind of sitting back with a small smile on his face, and he appears to be enjoying it quite a bit.
What about you, Ira? You ever think about finding a girl, settling down?
I found it very difficult with the line of work that we engage in to be honest enough with someone to have a good relationship with them.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't like lying to people.
Sharon took a lot of the burden of this whole thing. I'm not gonna lie. My mom just doesn't seem to understand that, when I'm gone, she's always got questions. She's always worrying. Always wondering where I've been. Sharon just took it in stride. Life of an FBI man. That's what I told her. You gotta find somebody special to be able to do that with.
I mean, I don't want to give away the game, but I think a couple of times throughout that, Ira is sort of shifting uncomfortably in his seat, and his eyes dart over to Jenny once or twice, but he just kind of nods into his wine glass, takes another sip.
So Mark's human is 84.
Oh,
Do I notice?
we've been had.
Do I notice anything?
I'll leave that up to you all.
I mean, roll it, my dude.
Roll it. Alrighty. Let's see. Well, 52 out of 84.
I would like to make an argument here for me stealth to stealthily dart a glance.
Sure, why not? Why not?
Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
Oh,
I think you still win, though.
I think so. Yeah, because of 32, it's high. It's the higher success that wins, right? Damn, you gotta.
Yep.
Ira is stealthy.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's like a 94?
Yeah. Ira spent his time off getting good at the shit he was already good at. But he's definitely darting Jenny some glances. And when you mention like finding someone and that kind of thing, you'll notice every time he darts a glance over in his direction, he gets a little red.
Jenny, for her part, is looking contemplatively at her wine glass, probably.
Yeah, I think Mark kind of makes note of that and decides not to push it any further. He just filed that away for later.
And I will say, she doesn't talk about it much, so that's why I don't think she brought it up now, but you guys have probably known over the years that she does have a daughter, but it's a complicated situation and she doesn't like to talk about it very much. The daughter's like 8 or 9 at this point.
Okay.
Super awkward.
And it's just like quiet for a while at the table.
Yeah. We all wait for someone else to get the bell.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate that when all of a sudden the conversation just goes plump, like somebody dropped a rock on it?
Yeah. Tends to happen to me a lot.
Well,
I mean, this place isn't nearly as spooky as I'd kind of secretly hoped it would be. Should we just head back? Or do we want to check out that park nearby?
I mean, it's not too late. May as well.
Nice evening for a walk.
Yeah.
Nice night.
After dinner walk.
Yeah, I think
All right.
Jenny will pick up the bill and, head out
Awesome.
to the park.
Yeah. You all head out to the Gateway Park across the way. And it's a pretty nice park. It's so it's just a small stone-walled municipal park. It's pretty much empty at this point. It's just a little bit after sundown. And Ira once again points out that spot that he had identified when he was doing his earlier casing, earlier casing of the joint. And but nothing really remarkable stands out, just that the foot traffic is essentially gone at this point. So it's a nice quiet spot.
Hearing about this spot in the back, can I do a search?
Yeah, go for it.
To see if I find something.
Say again. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
That's a 56 out of 72.
Yeah, you take some time. You look around. The sun isn't completely down yet, so you still have enough ambient light and then some light from nearby street lamps to kind of look around. But nothing really catches your eye.
Okay. Well, looks like whoever called us to this party is planning to kick things off tomorrow. No sense in beating a dead horse, huh?
Yeah. Should we even be going to this thing?
I mean, it's kind of what we agreed to, right?
If the message came from who we're assuming it came from, they've never done this before. Doesn't seem like them.
I mean, we have to know.
Yeah.
At least
I'd say maybe we split up. Maybe one of us don't go just in case. That way, you can call in the cavalry or something. But I mean, who would we leave behind? If there's trouble, I definitely want you there. Ira?
I'm worried about Cassandra. I mean, we haven't been able to get in touch with her. She might just show up there at that time with no knowledge of anything of what we've found. So we can't not go, but maybe you're right. Maybe we send or we keep someone back. Show up fashionably late at a party is no big deal. Just in case.
I mean, if there's any kind of overlap in skill sets, it's probably you and me, Jenny.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I love a good mystery. Happy to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you think it's wise, Ira, I could hang back. You know, I could I could park my car down the street and just kind of watch things and find out from y'all what goes on.
Okay. You could watch from this park, too.
Yeah. And if we probably need to have like some sort of a bug out sign, right? Like call the cops. Like you guys say, the food's cold here or something.
I think if something goes wrong, you'll know.
Yeah, I don't get a chance to do much undercover work, you know that.
Yeah. If something goes wrong, I'll make enough noise so that you're not left in the dark about it.
I mean, I assume if something goes wrong, we call the cops in, right? If it's that bad.
I mean, depends on what type of going bad happens. May or may not want cops involved.
Right.
And just as like an aside, I think like having done this for as long as we have, we would probably at this point know that calling the cops is a very frowned upon last move thing, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Probably.
I'm just saying if it's something that you can't handle between the three of you, then
yeah. If it's something that we can't handle between the three of us, I have a hard time imagining the police are going to be able to do much.
And I would say stealth would probably play a factor in remaining unobserved in that park, in that position in the park. So,
yeah,
what's your stealth at, Mark?
it's at 10.
Still,
So pretty
something,
good.
a little food
He's a
for thought,
ninja.
something for you to snack on. Just a
Yes.
touch.
Yeah. There is absolutely no world in which Jenny goes into that party and Ira doesn't go, though.
Right.
Totally
That's not
fair.
happening. Even from
Totally
like
fair.
the get-go when she was going upstairs into the building before, he was like, she's going to fucking do something.
Yep.
I was close. I was honestly close.
I know. All right. So with that, we'll say you all wrap up your evening. Is there anything else you all wanted to do with the remainder of your night?
No, not for me.
Yeah, just get a good night's sleep.
With Ira?
Sure.
He'll BRB.
Yeah.
So the next day, what time are you planning on arriving in Boston there, Cassie?
I imagine it would have been a first thing in the morning kind of flight.
It was like a red eye.
Well, yeah, red eye. Yeah, I guess it could be. It takes what, like 6-7 hours to get over to the East Coast from LA.
Yeah, about a 5-hour
So,
flight.
Yeah, so I figure she'd get there sometime like early afternoon.
Okay, got it.
And when she gets there, though, when she gets off the plane, she will actually text. Mark will receive a text from a number he does not know, but it just says, "I'm here."
Yeah, Mark, you'll receive that text message sometime in the early afternoon.
Yeah, Mark will text back and just say, Mark's gonna text back Embassy Suites at the airport. and the room number.
All right, yeah, she'll get a cab and she will head on over to the room number, to the Embassy Suites.
All right. Mark's there. It's the middle of the afternoon. Mark probably took a ride out to go see some sights in the morning. Look around, take a nap just in case. Probably be waking up from his nap right about now.
Yeah, I'd say, I'm not sure what kind of distance or time it would take to get from the airport to the Embassy Suites, but when she does, though, she will just go straight up to the room and politely knock.
Mark opens the door. Oh, Cassandra, we were wondering if you were coming.
And I guess this is where I tell you what she looks like now.
Yes, please.
Hey.
Well, I'll upload a picture first.
There we go.
Damn.
So she looks very different from, or even from the last year that you've seen her, but especially over the past 20 years. She's aged, and it shows. The roundness of her features have kind of sunken and faded. Her milky skin has become sallow. Her silken brown hair is not kind of dry and tousled. And Mark, you notice that it looks like she tried to cut bangs herself, probably with a very unsteady hand. Her lips are kind of cracked and deflated, and her cheeks are still kind of that blushy red, but have like kind of spread over her to her nose and throat. You notice that her nails, which used to be like really well manicured, are now just dry and bitten down to nubs. You noticed over the years, and especially now, that she doesn't carry herself with the same sense of composure and dignity. She has kind of this like almost defeated, but almost like the posture of a feral cat, very like eyes always darting around, hands always kind of at a tremble. Her eyes are still very blue, but they're framed around these dark under eye circles with poorly applied mascara in an effort to make herself look more presentable. But she looks like she hasn't slept in days. And instead of her usual pantsuit that she used to wear, she's just kind of replaced it with this oversized hoodie and faded blue jeans and workman's boots. And you see that she has a backpack slumped across her shoulder. I made it.
Rough flight?
Are you asking that in character or out of character?
Yeah, in character.
Rough flight? No. It was quiet, thankfully.
Ah, good.
And I will say, Cassie, since you haven't been able to sleep, you haven't wanted to sleep, go ahead and roll a 1d6.
Yes. 3.
All right, you lose that much willpower.
Cool.
And then roll 2d6.
So here's a question. I don't think I updated my willpower from the last scenario. Would that have gone back up to its maximum?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So roll 2d6?
Yes.
7.
All right. So your medication will offset the. It'll keep you going. Mm-hmm. But if you end up taking another dose after those 7 hours, it's going to cost you another 1d6 willpower.
Okay.
But yeah, continue.
Where are the others?
I mean, I assume they're in their rooms. I've been taking a nap just in case, it goes long tonight. Never know. You sure you don't want to lay down?
No. I got sleep on the plane, so I'm fine. Do you mind if I just come in and sit down?
Yeah. Mark will go to the phone and dial up Ira and Jenny's rooms, I mean.
Yeah, Jenny will answer hers.
All right. Hey, Cass is here. She made it after all.
Great.
We're
Does
in
she
my
need?
room.
Okay. On my way. Do you want to
All
call
right.
Ira, or I'll grab him on the way?
You will.
Yeah, you grab him on the way.
She's quiet for a minute, kind of hearing his tone and being like, all right. See you
All right.
soon.
See you guys in a bit.
Was that Mark?
What was that?
Ira will go. Was that Mark?
Yes, it was. Cass is here.
Oh, she showed up. That's good.
I think he might be on to us.
I don't know. Mark's a lot of things, but this kind of stuff tends to go over his head.
I don't know. I think he has a good read on some people.
Ira shrugs.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
Catch her up on everything.
As they're on their way down, Cassandra will look up at, not at Mark, as he's, I guess, getting ready for the meeting of the day. Just sort of looking past him and like out the window and occasionally up at the clock that's on the nightstand, and then like to the closet. I'm sorry that I know it was hard to get a hold of me. I had to get a new phone, but I always make sure to write your numbers down. So
You want to give me your new phone number? Or?
Yeah, later. We don't need to do that now.
All right. That's up to, Cassie, this is a tough business we're in. Business? Are we in a business? I don't know. It's more like this is a tough thing we're doing.
We're not really getting paid for it, so I think it's more slavery than anything.
Yeah, well, you know what they call somebody who does it and doesn't get paid for it.
Yes, slave.
Yeah. Well, the four of us found each other. I think we should stick together.
We didn't find each other. They put us together.
Well, I think they put us together for a reason. And if it wasn't their reason, it was somebody's reason.
Hey, do you have any water? And she's gonna just get up, just trying to cut off the conversation. And if there's like a mini fridge in the room, she'll just kind of like immediately go through it. If there's like any water bottle, she'll take it. And if there's any liquor bottles, she'll take those too. And she'll like just go back to the seat and just tuck them into her lap and start drinking from the water.
So you see Mark, when she grabs the stuff from the mini fridge, he starts to say something to her about, hey, how expensive that stuff is, but he just thinks better of it and shrugs his shoulders. He says, hey, if you don't mind, I'm gonna shave. I don't want no 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, I will be here. If they come, do you want me to answer the door for you? Or?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I'd say we probably knock on the door a little bit after that.
Yeah, Cassandra will get up, and when she hears the knock, she'll open it. She'll stand there in the door looking at you for a moment. And what's Jenny and Ira's human scores?
Let me check.
I think mine is 10. That's really bad.
Human 75 for Jenny.
Okay, so Jenny would see like this definite like expression of like shame as she looks at both of you, but especially you, Jenny. But she'll step aside and just go back to the seat that she was sitting in and let you all just kind of escort yourselves in.
Yeah, I think Jenny smiles warmly, like she probably always does anytime she sees any of you. And just says, glad you made it in.
Yeah, they paid for the ticket.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Figured if I hadn't, they would have black bagged me and driven me across country or something. I don't know.
Did they do that?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, I don't know if Mark caught you up on everything, but you got that invitation. I'm assuming that's why you're here, but did you see what was on the back of it?
No, I didn't. And she'll start to rifle through her pockets and go through her backpack. You see that the backpack is filthy, but she'll pull out the invitation, and you'll see that it's been like folded and just kind of thrown in there.
Hey, Jenny, maybe we shouldn't. You know what Ira said. We could just describe it to her.
Yeah, that's what I was planning.
All right,
I mean,
all right.
obviously it's going to be your choice whether you want to look or not, but there is something hidden. I kind of point out like where you can like kind of peel them apart, and there is some kind of demonic sigil on the back. And before you look at it, I just want to warn you, every time we've looked at it, there's been some kind of fire alarm or car horn or something. So I don't know how much stock you put in that kind of stuff, but it's an actual sigil, an actual seal. Who knows? I'm assuming we're not summoning anything just by looking at it, but it is what it is.
I'll play safe on this one. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, it's the seal of Person. And she'll just kind of go through everything that we went through already that we know about the demon. Just kind of rattle it off the top of her head.
DM, I have a 15 occult. Would I pick up anything else, or at the name, or would it just be what they've told me?
What they've told you.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of. I think I've heard of. I know I've heard of the Ars Gueda, but I suppose.
I have a question for you, Jack.
Yes.
Is this like last time we saw and she was looking confident, she was looking great, and now she's a train wreck?
No.
Or is this like a gradual over the last 20 years?
So she was fine up until around 2007. And after 2007, things have been different. Not surprised that polish that you knew her as having.
I'm assuming she didn't, or you would have shared, but do we know what happened in 2007? Since I think they all kind of had something that happened. I don't know if there would have been a conversation about that or not with her.
I think so. So you would have known that her best friend had moved from California to Chicago, and that she had mysteriously died after seeing a movie. And Cassandra's done some independent research on this that I don't think she's shared with you all, but you would know that her best friend had died in 2007. You would also know, well, just not necessarily related to that, but you would also know that she has gone through a very messy divorce and no longer has custody of her child.
Okay. So this is also kind of backpedaling a little bit, knowing that, and that, would she? Okay, yeah, I think she would. Okay, so you guys already knew that her mom died in a mugging in 2007, but I think after hearing what happened to Cassandra's friend, you know that it was after she saw an indie movie that no one else has ever seen or heard about in Chicago on that night.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, spooky. Okay.
That's the one.
And Jenny did like some stay on the case stuff outside of it. I'm assuming they didn't really coordinate because we didn't like make rules or anything for that. But they're probably just aware that something similar happened.
Yeah. Cassandra had made some stay on the case rules too. Found some things out. She hasn't really, again, been so open with you all since that happened. So I don't know. I don't think she would have cross-referenced it with you, but she knows some other things.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
So what's the plan here?
I mean, I think we have to go. I think we all agree it's a little weird that they're contacting us this way, so there's some hesitation if this even is Delta Green, or if someone is trying to lure us to something, who knows, but...
Did you scout the location first? Or?
We did. Seems like a perfectly normal restaurant. I would personally give it 3 stars instead of 4, but it's fine. There is a park nearby. We thought Mark could kind of set up there at first, just in case we need an out, or... I don't know. The 9th circle of hell opens up and swallows us all. At least we'll have one survivor, you know. And she kind of like tries to be light and joke about it, but
I thought it was pretty good.
When did you? Because this invite clearly doesn't give us a time. When do we think that? When do we think that we should go into that gate of hell?
did it say on the sign outside the restaurant when we went there yesterday? What time?
So it was on the invitation. It
is?
Yeah. So it's not on the one. It's on the image that's there. I gave it to you all in my data dump. So on the back of the invitation, it's written 8 p.m. on Tuesday, September 1st. Yep.
Got you. Sorry about that.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, we wait until 8, I suppose. Or do we do anything before that? Do we just sit here?
Might not be a bad idea to go a little early. Nothing puts someone on their back foot like having a guest arrive earlier than they expected them.
Ugh, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's not great.
Ira, Jenny, Mark, were you able to come with anything? Weapons, a kit, anything like that?
I have things.
Just gotta fill out the paperwork.
I don't carry.
DM, I know that Massachusetts doesn't recognize California gun laws, but is it one of those things where if I board a plane from California with my permit and a gun, they're not responsible for what happens to me in Massachusetts, or they would take it away from me?
I think if you checked it in your baggage, you'd be fine.
Okay, that's what I did then.
Yep.
Yeah. Ira basically came with whatever you will let me get away with.
Yeah.
Like, if you're cool with me having had Ira drive up here in a tank, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, so I mean, you'd have access probably to your body armor, your handgun. I don't know if you'd be able to get your rifle with you, but at a minimum, yeah, you've got your handgun and your body armor.
You can check a rifle on a plane, right?
Yeah, you sure can. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, you've got access to your weapons. Yeah.
Okay. So the things that I was really looking for were a body armor, handgun, rifle, and extendable baton.
Yep, you've got all that.
Sweet.
And I would say too, Mark would know this at least, that Cassandra is no longer employed by the FBI.
All right, that makes sense. You guys see as Mark finishes shaving and puts he puts on a Kevlar vest underneath his jacket, in a way that it is concealed. Regular. You can do that, right? Or actually, it would have to be underneath the shirt.
Yeah. So typically undershirt, Kevlar vest, and then if you're wearing a suit, like your dress shirt, and then
yeah.
Yep.
And then he puts on his Oxford shirt and his jacket, and he's also carrying a shoulder holster with his standard issue pistol.
I think Ira's going to deliberately underdress. So he's going to wear the outfit basically that he's wearing in his picture, which is like a t-shirt with a flannel over top and a pair of jeans and some work boots.
All right.
Yeah, Cassie's not changing. She's actually wearing a bigger sweatshirt so she can have the Kevlar vest underneath.
I would love it if every time we looked away from Cassie and looked back, she had a slightly bigger sweatshirt on.
Just keep stealing stuff and put it away.
All right. So what time are you all heading over to the restaurant?
Get there about 7:45.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit earlier so that like we have time to scope out the park just to make sure that we don't see anything there and that like Mark is going to be safe.
Yeah, Ira would even suggest going earlier. Again, he wants to like put whoever is putting this on their back foot as much as possible.
Yeah.
He thinks like if we show up at 7 or 6:30 or something like that, and they're still getting stuff ready, we might get information that we wouldn't have got if we showed up just on time.
That's a good idea. Maybe like scope it out a bit, see if anyone's coming or going that looks like suspicious or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm good with like 6:30.
You all reading the book and not telling me?
No.
We did it! We did something smart!
You did. You are.
Like, who are these assholes doing smart
We're
things?
learning.
What have you done? I love it. Okay. All right. So you show up at 6:30. And what's the plan of attack? Do you all just kind of camp out in the park across the way? Do you do some go in and wait? What's the order of battle here?
If I can make a suggestion, I think I would pitch him and Jenny going in right away, 6:30, and seeing what they can see, and then Cassandra coming in a little closer to the actual time and being with Mark to kind of like set him up and watch the building. And that way you can bring in any of the information that you've got between 6:30 and the actual dinner time in with you to get to us when the dinner starts.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll help set Mark up and make sure that like the area is secure. And then what I can do too is I'll do like a couple laps around the block or something like that, just to make sure that like I don't see any suspicious cars or like, men in silver robes, anything like that.
Nice.
Mark will be watching from the park, alertness of 70.
Okay.
What area of town is this in, by the way?
This is in the Dorchester neighborhood of Boston.
Okay. So not like South Boston or anything like that?
No, not Southie. Nope.
Okay, cool.
And okay, so Ira and Jenny, you head inside, and the wait staff show you back to the party room about 6:30. And from your position in the park there, Mark and Cassie, you are very clearly able to see them be led into the room and be seated at the table there. It has these 3 windows that you can easily look in through, especially now that it's night and the light coming from inside the restaurant. But 6:30 becomes 6:45, becomes 6:50, nothing unusual. And then at 7, shortly thereafter, 2010 Ford Escape pulls up to the restaurant, and out steps a 60-something African-American male, tall, with gray hair, a mustache, beard, brown eyes. He's gaunt, moves slowly, appears maybe sickly, but he kind of shuffles his way into the restaurant and you can essentially watch his progress as he gets out of the vehicle and moves into the restaurant. And of course, Ira and Jenny, eventually this man is shown back into the party room. And there is a moment where he definitely looks surprised to see you both there waiting for him already. But this is who you see.
Do we know him already or no?
You do not.
Okay.
Those of us who saw the car outside, was he being driven or did he drive himself?
He drove himself. Yeah, he got out of the driver's seat and headed in.
Okay. So I would say that Cassandra leaving Mark on like a bench or something in the park, she'll ask him though, just keep an eye out for me, okay? And she's going to go ahead and just scope the car out a bit as discreetly as she can.
Okay. So it is a Ford Escape, 2010. There is a Massachusetts State Police sticker on the windshield. And it's overlaid on a number of similar stickers indicating that this guy's probably been employed there for a long time.
Do I see anything in the car? Any like items of interest beyond just like regular cop stuff?
It's kind of tough to see with the with how dark it is in the window tint. There may be a box or something in the back, but that's all you can really tell.
All right. What would it take to pick open the door? Just not that I'm going to do it, but just what skill would it be?
So you have to have special training in lockpicks and then make a dexterity roll.
Yeah, I don't have that, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll nod over in Mark's direction and just kind of keep walking around until such time it's like closer to 8. And then I'd say like around probably like maybe like 10 before 8, she'll enter the restaurant if she can.
Before we get there,
gotcha.
Yeah. Ira and Jenny, you look up as the door opens and this man steps inside, and he kind of, his eyes widen a little bit in surprise when he sees you there already waiting for him. But as soon as the waiter closes the door behind him, he steps inside and takes a seat at the table. Where's Meshach and Madison?
On their way.
Well, I'm early. We can wait.
I'm sorry, and who are you?
My name is Dr. Elias Barbas. You can call me Exeter.
Is that a title or something, or is that probably just a code name that he wants us to call us?
Just his code name.
Okay.
You know, same way your Maines and Morgan and Meshach. His cover name is Exeter, indicating he's with E-Cell.
Got it. Okay.
Now, we usually only work with M-Cell, right?
Usually with M-Cell, yeah. And the only other cells you really have you would have any contact with are the ones immediately above and below you. So not necessarily all the way up to E.
Mm-hmm.
Are they ranked like A is top line, best people we have, and then going on down, or like should we be impressed that we're like, oh shit, he's from Team E?
No.
Okay.
No. So A, the only thing you do know is that the organization's leadership is an A cell. That's really about it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you've never had any contact with anybody from A cell.
Yeah, Ira kind of just sits quietly until something.
I think Jenny actually, after a minute where it's like this quiet, awkward silence where we're all just kind of sitting there, she's gonna take out her invitation and flip it over so that the sigil is up for him and just say, so what was this about?
He looks at it and says, sometimes we have to reuse materials.
Does
Not
anything
humanting that.
Go for it.
But also,
does anything happen when he looks at it?
No.
He's already
I just
seen
like
it,
this
probably.
mechanic now. I just want to do it to everybody.
Right, yes. Random people on the street.
Does this do anything? Get it over to the bartender.
Yeah, Jenny, with a 54 to 75, he definitely doesn't want to talk about it.
She kind of gives him a look that she, like, very clearly does not believe him, but she won't press it until the others get here, probably.
And you notice at this point, being up close to them, he does have this very flat affect, and he doesn't make a whole lot of eye contact.
Gotcha.
He just seems to be a very, maybe not nervous, maybe more stressed out, which in this line of work is not entirely unheard of.
Well, I'm going to order a beer. Would you like one?
No, thank you.
He looks at Jenny.
Sure, thanks.
I'll be back.
He nods.
When he's gone, when Ira's gone, she'll probably press him on it now. I don't believe that this was just recycling materials. I don't think the organization is that sloppy. So what's with the demon shit?
What do you want to know?
I want to know why this says help me and why there is a seal of person on the back of it. I want to know if my teammates are going to be in any danger when they come back in here.
They're not.
All right, then try being honest and straightforward with me.
Just wanted to see who I'm dealing with. I haven't dealt with any of you before. want to know how inquisitive you are.
This was some kind of fucked up test.
How long have you been with us?
20 years.
You know we're all about fucked up tests.
This one is a little more unusual than most I've come across.
The CO's harmless. Well, you heard a sound, a trumpet, something. That's about all it does.
How do you know that?
Just trust that we know.
Not how I work.
It's how I work.
You kind of like gives him a glance over. Kind of like not saying it out loud, but being like, yeah, look where it got you.
What's your alertness at, Jenny?
Not great. So, it's not great that she's doing this by herself. 20.
Okay. Good to know.
I was going to say, Ira's going to get the beers, obviously, but then he is going to wait outside the door and listen until it seems like a good spot for him to go back in, because he left so that Jenny would have the opportunity to do the stuff that he's not very good at.
Okay. Any other questions?
I do. One second. I just have to look something up. 1 second. Just because we might as well ask. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, she's quiet for a second. Kind of like taps her finger on the table. Is like clearly debating whether she wants to bring something up. But then she'll say, May 2007, Chicago. I want to see if there's any reaction on his face to that date and that time and place.
Flat affect.
Yeah, I think she's being very open that she was trying to see if there's some kind of reaction to see if he knew anything about that. Do you want me to roll a human, or even if I roll, it's going to be like no reaction?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Okay. 27 out of 75.
There is definitely, he recognizes it, but he's not going to say anything about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's maybe a look of understanding then, that again, she recognized that he recognized that, and, he's not making eye contact, but he can probably still tell that she notices that, and she'll just kind of sit back and wait for Ira at that point.
Marcus said y'all were smart.
We get by.
Well, too smart is bad. Too smart gets you killed.
She's kind of gives a little shrug. Been smart for 20 years. Maybe it'll catch up to me eventually.
Let's hope not.
How much of that did I hear? Like, how long did it take me to get my beer?
Roll alertness
Sir.
with your 94. Yeah.
Good God.
With a
Jesus.
47, with a 47 out of 94, you heard the vast majority of it. I'd say you didn't hear the initial challenge about person and why it was on the invitation, but you heard the rest of it.
Okay, so he'll wait for that. That's exactly right. Except for probably you, because that feels weird and creepy. Yeah, he'll wait for the lull in the conversation and then come in and put the beer down in front of Jen.
And I will say, now that you have an opportunity to kind of take a look at him, his fingernails appear to be black with some kind of grease, and there is definitely an odor about him. He definitely smells like BO, like oil, like gasoline. And you do notice that there are these kind of burn marks at his wrists.
Do they look like any particular shape, or just like he was burned there?
Just like he was burned there.
So this may just be. Does it look like cook's burns? Like, when people work in kitchens, they get those kind of. Or is there? Do they look deliberate? Or is there anything?
You'd have to. I mean, it'd be one of those things where you'd have to get his shirt off to kind of see the extent of the scarring, and it's really just you caught a glimpse of it.
Accepted.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Changing
Yeah.
tactics here.
Ira sidles closer. You sure you don't want a beer? Okay. I'll file that away.
So where do you have Madison and Meshach set up? Park across the street?
Just keeping an eye on things. They'll be here soon.
Why don't you have them come in now so we can get this show on the road?
Ira will give a little nod of his head and then pull out his phone and send a text to Mark. You've been made. You might as well come in.
All right, Mark will approach Cassie and yeah, looks like they want us all to come in.
Oh. The sooner we do it, the sooner it's done. After you.
All right.
I am going to grab the invitation that has the seal and then put it away before they get back, since Cassandra did not want to look at it.
Yeah, Mark's going to. Is there a chance to walk by the car?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Mark's gonna take a look, and not even really try to be sneaky about it. Just he's taking a look inside the car.
Again, it's tough to make out. There's, fast food wrappers, there's discarded bottles and cups and various containers. It's not very well kept. You see the Massachusetts State Police sticker. You see the parking permit for the Massachusetts State Police building hanging from the rearview mirror. You see what looks to be a box in the back seat, but nothing else really standing out to you as particularly unusual. No bodies or anything like that.
All right. We go in.
Yeah, when you step inside, Agent Exeter gestures for you to see. Yeah, God damn it. Let me use my words here today.
It's all right, baby.
Mark and Cassie, when you step inside, Agent Exeter gestures for you to have a seat. And again, Ira, you see those scars on his wrists just barely peeking out from underneath his shirt.
Does Cassandra see those scars?
What's your alertness at?
It is 50.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Do they look like the scars on the hands of the black person's arms that were extended out in the night rooms?
Could be. It was a very quick glimpse.
Okay. Given Cassandra's need to stay on the side of caution, she will see those tense up a bit. And when Mark goes to sit at, I guess, the table that they're sitting at, she will stay as far back, especially away from Agent Exeter, as she can.
Okay. Thank you for coming. I apologize for the unorthodox nature of your summons. This was a hastily assembled mission. We tasked you because, well, frankly, you were the only ones available. This operation is codenamed India Moon. We need you to locate former operatives of our group. They've been under the care of a psychiatric facility here in Boston that, it's been of use to us for some time now. It's sponsored and operated by the group. These patients were committed for some period of time. They're now missing. Each of them went missing on the 20th of August, about the same time. The police have been alerted, but we need them found now.
What do you know about their escape?
We don't know much. We do know that before their incarceration, they came into contact with a book known to have unnatural properties. It goes by many titles. If you do recover this book, report it. But barring a cursory exam of the title and the author, do not read it.
What's the title?
You'll know that if you find it.
Why can't you just tell us?
I don't want to tell you any more than I absolutely have to. And as unnatural properties, the specifics are restricted by the group. There's also a message left. Here. And he will pull out a photo, Polaroid, and show it to you all. Oh, roll 20, you bitch. What are you doing to me? Sorry, let me refresh. There you go.
Abigail Wright.
As soon as Cassandra sees this, she sinks back and almost hits herself against the back of the wall as she's stepping back away from it.
It's a photo of lines written on the wall of a mental patient's room. Scrawled on the wall, and the wall itself is covered with taped newspapers, and it looks like it's scrawled in copious amounts of blood. And it reads, "Abigail Wright has gone to sea, crossed the waves to rescue me. In a ship, both tall and fine, she rounds the corner, marking time. Everybody roll Sam."
Oh, hell.
Barely hanging on here.
God damn it.
Yeah, I will say that Jenny did say that name out loud as soon as she saw that, the Abigail Wright thing.
I'm sorry, Cassandra, your sanity is what?
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but that's so low.
Oh my god.
Time has not been kind.
Jiminy Christmas. That's
So-
bad.
So yeah, Cassie with a 37 out of 35, you lose 1. Jenny with a 20 out of 65, you lose nothing. Ira with a 92 out of 75, you lose 1. And Mark with an 81 out of 59, you lose 1.
All right.
Abigail Wright?
What do you know about Abigail Wright?
Not much. They tend to restrict the information available from previous operations. Compartmentalization has always been key, but I know you were involved. That's why we selected you.
Thought you selected us because there was no one else.
He shrugs.
Okay.
So you want us to go back there?
No. To New York? No. I need you to go to the psychiatric facility here in Boston, look into the disappearance, find our agents.
What happened to them?
That's what you need to find out.
No, I mean, what happened to get them in there? Why are they put in there?
As I said, they came into contact with a book known to have unnatural properties.
At the same time, were they a part of the same operation?
Do you need to know that?
Yes.
You don't. At some point in time, in their respective careers, they came into contact with this book. As a result of their exposure, they were incarcerated in the psychiatric facility. Those are the details you need to know.
Do you have any contacts at this hospital that we should be directed towards?
Dr. Richard Dallin. He's the director of the facility. He's a friendly. He runs the facility on our behalf. He's expecting your call. And he will give you his business card.
What's the history behind this facility? I mean, when it was made, who made it, who designed it, the architecture?
I don't know that. And these are the agents that have gone missing. And I'll hand you this short handwritten list. The names on it are T. Howe, Cal Diasa, Lila Mack, Kim Plasad, Ray Bilibas, and Toman F. Prutoth. These are the people you need to find.
What do we do when we find them?
Report back to us. And at this point, he reaches underneath his seat to this bag he has positioned there, and he pulls out this large, old-looking satellite phone that he passes over to you. You get a
the hell
picture
is
of that
that?
too.
Nice. Look at those sideburns.
What was that, Ira?
Ira's gonna go, what the hell is that?
It's a secure satellite phone. You can contact the group directly by pressing *616, but keep your communications to a minimum. It looks like it's probably from the 1990s. It comes with a 9-volt adapter and a charging cord, along with an international plug adapter set, all kind of just hastily thrown into a Ziploc bag.
Does this like give me any vibes about the phone thing from my backstory?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the phone you had encountered was like this old, like 1950s rotary phone. Any other questions?
Can I make an int check to see if my memory is as good as my notes?
Yeah, go for it.
So, the 71 out of 90.
Okay.
And I mean, it's not just been 20 years. Mark has gone over his notes from this event in particular many times over the year. But he looks at and says, this book they found wouldn't by any chance be called Hydromantia, would it?
No.
Right. I'm gonna human that.
Go for it.
That's a 69 out of 84.
Nice.
Nice.
He is telling he is telling the truth.
All right.
From what you can tell. Yeah, based on his body language, and even though he's very flat affect, he doesn't seem to react much to that name.
So I assume with a 70 in alertness, I noticed the burn scars too.
Yeah, definitely.
Do they appear fresh or are they old?
They're older.
They're older. Okay.
And I will say with that alertness, you look down and the napkins for some reason catch your attention.
The napkins on the table?
The napkins on the table, yeah. You look down and there in gold lettering are these initials of the restaurant, the Gateway Bridges restaurant, GBR, in the lower corner in gold lettering. There's something familiar about it.
The gold lettering has the initials of Gateway Bridges.
Wait. Sorry, my notes. I think I know what that is. I think I know what it is. 1 second.
Yeah, I'm looking through it right now.
Those are someone's initials. Isn't that someone's initials?
I'm waiting to. I will tell you. I'm waiting to see if somebody finds it.
You said J or G?
G is in golf. Gateway Bridges restaurant.
Oh, that was Castaigne. No, that was we met someone. Oh, wait. Yes. GBR, initial on odd mechanical schematics drawn on napkins that we found.
There you go.
Did we ever get what that stood whose name that was? I thought we did.
Well, it's GBR, Gateway Bridges restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the restaurant.
One was titled Lion and another one was titled Scribe.
Everyone who makes that connection, roll sand.
No.
Yeah, I think Mark would have made that
totally.
connection.
I feel comfortable saying Ira would not have. If you're
Yeah,
comfortable.
same. I think I'm good.
All
Ooh,
right.
that's a success. 41.
Good. Okay, you lose 0. Jenny, you lose 1 with an 87 out of 65.
I don't think she'll mention this in front of our new friend here, but she's like biting the side of her like mouth, like her cheek, and I think that's usually a pretty good sign to the people who work with her that there's something she wants to say, but she's not going to say it in current company.
Okay.
Agent, are these agents who are on the loose now? Are they going to be dangerous?
No. We have no reason to believe that at this time. With what they know and the fragility of their mental state, it's more for their safety.
Were they all a part of the same operation?
I can't answer that.
Well, then, you're familiar with our case, then?
Yes, barely. I know that you were on it, and I know it involved this Abigail Wright. I know it was in New York. That's all I know.
So you've never been to the Macallister Building?
I couldn't even tell you where that was.
Human checking that.
Yes.
Go for it.
45 out of 75.
Yeah.
92 out of 67.
Cassie, you're just so distracted by hearing this name again after 20 years, Abigail Wright, and bringing back this flood of memories from what happened in the Macallister Building. But Jenny, you're keyed in on him, and from what you can tell, he is telling the truth. Anyway, as I said, Dr. Dallin is expecting your phone call. If there's nothing else, again, dial *616. You'll be able to get a hold of somebody in the group. Let us know when you found the agents.
Just one last thing. Having seen this guy and having seen the box in his car when we came in, were there any similarities to the box that between that box and the box that we saw set in the hall?
Good question. I would say no. The one that you saw set in the hall was this like big heavy wooden box.
Yeah.
If anything, the one in the back seat of his car, like, again, it was tough to make out details, but it looked like of the cardboard variety, or like a banker's box or something.
Okay.
Good luck. And he will stand. Unless anybody has anything else for him.
Nope.
As he passes, Ira, especially with your alertness, you do hear, as he walks past you, like this crumpling sound, like the crumpling of paper. And you do get another whiff of that gasoline, oil, body odor sound. Smell. But eventually he passes by and exits, and you all watch him through the windows get into his Ford Escape and drive away.
Huh.
I don't like this. This feels like a trap.
Yeah, as soon as he gets out, Cassandra lets out the air that she was holding in and just sits down at the table looking at this card that he'd given to us. And everyone would notice that her hands are just trembling like mad.
No, I think you're right. Feels like a trap.
He knows about May 2007 in Chicago.
What does he know about it?
He told me he didn't, but I could tell he was lying. I brought it up. There was a look. He recognized what that date was. That, in combination with this Abigail Wright thing, people disappearing again. This feels like a trap. It does not feel like a job.
His wrists.
What about them?
And Cassandra looks at Mark, and you can see that she's got this like glassy expression on her eyes. It's almost helpless.
I mean, y'all remember, right? That first time we went in, there was this door, and a pair of black man's arms came out with burn scars on them, put down a box, had a book in it called Hydromantia. Had other things too. I don't know.
Time was weird on the night floors. This could be cyclical in nature. We could have been getting glimpses into what obviously didn't make sense then, but present day, it's piecing together. Is that crazy to think of? Am I losing my mind?
You've seen what we've seen. If you're crazy, then we're all crazy.
Ira's gone silent, and he's just kind of staring into his beer bottle, glass of beer, whichever form of that he has. But he's like gripping it white-knuckled now, ever since the mention of May.
It's dark out by now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Did he leave that photo with us?
Yeah, he left the photo, the list, the satellite phone.
Okay. Cassandra will drag it closer to her, but still center of the table. And just kind of keep her fingers on the edge of it. And then she'll look at the list and pull it closer to everybody. Do any of these names look familiar to any of you?
Nope.
No, not me.
Ira?
I'm sorry, what?
Do any of these names look familiar to you?
No.
Because...
neither.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, they don't look familiar to me either, but there's something strange about them. They sound... I mean, I don't know how old these agents are, but these seem either antiquated or like pseudonyms.
Yeah.
Maybe it's... And maybe this is just me more unraveling more, but maybe these are like anagrams of something. And you see that she's kind of losing it with her confusion and just like looking at everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the precedent was set on the invitation where there was like dots that spelled out "help me," can I take another look at this list, like open up the paper, flip it over, flip it back, and kind of try to like see if I'm thinking the same vein as Cassandra, that there's some kind of message, or that these are anagrams, or that these aren't just straightforward names, that there might be something else to glean here.
Yeah. So I would roll. Actually, I won't make a roll. There's nothing that stands out to you about them.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing like the kind of surreptitious dots over the letters or anything like that.
They do look like anagrams, though, right?
Right? Yeah, like
Yeah, I
common
know.
Prutoth, or like the first name is thou. Like it's, yeah.
I want to take. I'll say, Cassandra, you might want to look away. I know you don't want to see this, and I'll pull out the invitation and flip it over and compare the handwriting. I don't think they're the same, but
The handwriting on the list to the handwriting on the invitation.
on the back of the invitation.
Oh, it is a matchup for the handwriting on the list.
It is.
It is.
All right.
The hidden message that had the symbol on it?
Yes.
Oh.
Do you guys say this out loud?
I mean, Jenny probably would if Mark is like, "Huh, it's a match," and she's like, "What?"
Then,
Yeah.
Cassandra will just kind of instinctively like look at the back of the card and the sigil.
Oh, damn.
All right. Let me see what happens. Yeah, once again, as soon as you lay eyes on that sigil, Cassie, you hear some car honking at something, and you watch a homeless man. You turn around to see a homeless man just jaywalking in the middle of the street, flipping off the car that just honked at him.
Cassandra recoils and kind of scoots back in her seat and covers her mouth in shock.
I mean, did we know that he was the one who wrote this? I mean, he's the one who sent us the invitations.
He also tried to pretend that this was just recycled material, and sometimes they have to use whatever they have on hand to send these messages. There's something else. I mean, I know this whole organization is built off of secrecy and the whole need to know thing, but there is something feels grossly sinister happening here.
Cassandra's keeping her eyes out of the window. Does the man who just got hit by the car stay on the ground? Does he get out? Do people start to crowd around him?
He didn't get hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
the car was. Yeah.
She doesn't act so dramatically. I thought it was like an actual hit. So yeah, disregard that. Where do we start?
I want to learn more about this psychiatric building. We should look into the history of who built it. We might see a familiar name or two pop up. If what I'm thinking is what's happening, I think the night floors have potentially found a new home.
We should look at we should look up the names of these agents too. They may just be pseudonyms, but they may be attached to real people, and maybe there's something there that we can find.
All right.
How long before this is done? How long do we have to keep doing this?
I don't think there's an answer there.
No.
All right. So Mark, who's got the Dallon's card?
I think Cassandra was looking at it.
Yeah, but I just put it in the center of the table so
Yeah.
you can see it.
All right. So Mark will reach out for the card and say, "Well, y'all want me to give him a call, see if we can arrange a visit?"
Does anyone else think the little saying on his card is kind of odd? For a
Oh, you mean-
psychiatric facility?
Where it says sometimes things become possible if we want them bad enough.
Yeah.
That don't sound like no psychological doctor to me.
GM, I don't know if I'm allowed to make this connection in character, but just from looking at like maybe it's just from her knowledge of like demonology and all of that and the site that you shared, there was a couple like sayings that seemed to share the similar sentiment. Can she make that connection or no?
Yeah,
It was a
I'd
website
say-
you shared.
Yeah, no, she absolutely could.
Okay.
Whether or not that's actually the source remains
Right.
to be seen.
Oh yeah, she'll point that out then. It's odd because usually when you look at practitioners of demonology and people who try to summon, a lot of the sentiment there is whatever you can do or think you can do, you can make it happen. It's like bold choices make whatever you want to happen come to fruition. I don't know. It just seems like a similar sentiment. And because we were given these invitations that have the symbol of person on them, it's just another tick on my paranoia box that this is not a typical job that we've been handed, but something sinister is going on.
No, I think I see what you mean. I'm not as well versed in the occult as you. I know a little bit about will magic and the idea of using the will to manifest change. I don't know. Maybe this connected with demonology. I don't think I could put the pieces together now, but it seems like there might be some correlation to what you're saying.
Do we know what the SDHPF stands for on his card.com?
Something Dorchester House of Psychiatric Facility.
Oh yeah, I guess maybe it's just something.
Or yeah.
Something Dorchester.
Something.
South Dorchester,
Secret
maybe.
Dorchester.
Secret
Yeah.
Dorchester.
Yeah, and what the heck? Who has an email address of FOR?
Yeah, because his initials should be RFD.
Yep.
We're like finding this probably means nothing, but we're like, suspicious.
What is it about this card stock? It means something.
Yeah, the color that he chose, the blue, that's interesting.
What's the hex code?
Yeah. We have an American Psycho moment where we start pouring over the material.
Yeah.
Bone versus white, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, well, maybe we should head back to the hotel and pour over all this. I don't want some poor waitress to walk in and hear us talking about demon shit.
I mean, should we call him now just to, make arrangements or?
I mean, it's
Sure.
pretty late. Do we want to maybe try in the morning? Or?
Yeah, we could wait.
Yeah, I
I mean,
want to look up the building anyway.
All right.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So we head back to the hotel.
All right.
As we're kind of leaving, probably with like Cassie and Mark kind of being ahead, I think Jenny probably caught on to how Ira was being quiet and holding his beer after the whole mention of May 2007. So she's going to hang back for a second and just kind of touch his arm. You okay?
No. That just makes me think of Aaron.
Yeah. Me too.
If that man we met and the people we're about to meet had something to do with it, I don't want you to be there the next time I see them.
Okay. Well, we don't know anything for sure yet. It's possible that there was another, maybe a larger scope of what happened on that day. It happened to more people, and I don't believe in coincidences when it comes to this kind of stuff, but our loved ones were caught in the crossfire of something much bigger that Delta Green is aware of. We don't know that because he recognized the date he was responsible.
Ira gives kind of like a tight nod of his head.
Yeah, and I think... I mean, it's not that she doesn't believe what she's saying, but she's trying to just offer an alternative possibility to try to get him out of his head a little bit about it.
Sure. And you do remember, with your digging, Ira, the amount of people that were involved at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the possibility that this guy had something to do with it
Got it. Okay.
made him feel very full of rage, but I think he's just he's just not really sure what to do with himself or his emotions. But
I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I was just double checking, making sure I gave you that.
Yeah, cool. But Jenny does have a somewhat calming influence on him, and you'll notice the tension in his shoulders and stuff kind of relaxes a little bit when you say that. I'm glad you're here.
She smiles. Yeah, me too. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, back at the hotel, Mark is going to pull out his forensics kit and go over the card and the list and the photograph.
Awesome. Yeah, you take your time.
That's all we got from him, right?
The satellite phone.
Okay. Would that be forensics also?
Yeah, you can just make a general forensics roll. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your forensics?
It's 50.
Do you want me to help you with that, or?
Sure.
So yeah.
If yours is higher?
Yeah, minus 70.
So with the higher one, you'd roll. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take them from him and just kind of have him watching over me as I'm doing it, making sure that I'm not. He would see that my hands are still kind of shaky, but doing the best that I can with his assistance. I'll have a look.
Roll 20.
Well.
Dang, 292s in a row.
Right.
Well,
it's not been a good day.
I won't make you roll because you all have plenty of time. You're not like under stressful circumstances or in a rush or anything like that. So, Cassie with your 70 and Mark with your 50, taking your time, kind of looking over the items with your, the forensics kit that you brought with you, Mark. Nothing stands out. Nothing catches your eye. There are no hidden exemplars to be found on the back of the list or contained within the list. Nothing unusual or that stands out about the card. No surreptitious marks or covert messages or anything like that. They're exactly what they appear to be.
So the list even looks like there's something written on the backside, but that's just the image.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing Mark's going to do is he's going to take the names off the list and plug them in an anagram solver. You can find those online.
Nice.
And other than thou, I don't think anything comes, well, I don't know. Do you want me to roll, or is that what do you?
No, I'd say just with what you're able to find, none of them are coming up as anagrams.
Right. Yeah, I don't see an anagram solver. It doesn't look. Nothing stands out when I do that.
Do you actually do any research on the names?
I I mean, Mark's been doing a lot. Maybe the other people want to do something.
Yeah. Would it be like computer science to like Google stuff, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. I would say, what is your bureaucracy?
Minus 44. I don't know what Jenny's and Ira's is. So.
I don't think ours is great. Let me double check.
Yeah, Mark's got a 72.
Oh, Mark's the best. I
Well,
have a
maybe
50.
Mark should just be doing everything.
Okay. All you guys are watching.
We're just watching chain smoking, watching you.
Yeah, like Ira is less reluctant to look into things than he used to be, but his skill set is still very specific. So he's only going to be really helpful in certain situations.
All right. Well, yeah, I will look up people's names on what databases I know that I can.
Easy enough. And because all of these people have some affiliation with the government, it's not very difficult to get any results. So, for instance, you find Thomas Howe, Chinese-American male, age 39, former FBI special agent. Calvin Cal Diasa is a former emergency surgeon, Hispanic male, age 43. Lila Mack is a former Air Force and NSA systems specialist, Caucasian woman, age 28. Kimberly Plaslad, a former FBI agent, Caucasian woman, age 37. Raylyn Ray Billabas, former Army officer, captain, African-American. I'm sorry, not Raylyn. Jesus. Raylyn. Yeah, Raylyn Ray Billabas, former Army officer, African-American female, age 46. And Toman F. Prutoth, former DEA agent, Caucasian male, age 49.
So what you're trying to say is the anagrams are really well constructed.
Right.
Yeah, we just gotta look harder. That's what you're saying.
Let's spend the next day on it. I think we go to
I
City
know what
Hall.
it is. All of their parents are involved in this cult, and they gave their kids these specific names. So
Yeah.
that
Mark,
knowing, yeah.
Let's rearrange
Really
every
smart.
third letter. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Vin.
No, you're good. I didn't say
But I
you were
would say
wrong.
though,
Damn
I don't know.
well, the thing that I guess we can discern now is that at least everyone here seems to be too young to have experienced what we experienced at Macallister Building. So the theory that the night floors can change places or change locations, especially after I guess we blew the other one up, would maybe hold a little bit of water. Yeah, but other than that, I don't know anything that's like tying them together besides the event and their. So when Exeter mentioned them being a part of the agency, they were all a part of the same unit.
No. Delta Green.
What I'm saying though is they were all a part of the same team, like we are. Like we're all a team. Like, are they part of the same cell or part of the same team that works
Right.
together in the field?
He did not answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
While they're digging into that, I want to do, and I don't know if I could get all of this from the internet. I might have to go somewhere else and get it, but I want to look up the history of the building specifically.
Okay. And I will say, Cassie, to kind of answer your question, just with your operational experience with the group over the past 20 years, you know that there being 6 names, it's a little bit larger than the typical cell structure that you've been used to. For instance, it's usually 3 agents and a friendly, at the most 4. So these are likely, just based on the number alone, individuals from different cells.
Okay. Then I'll call that out to the others and just mention it. Say, this isn't it a bit odd that these are all from different cells? Like I can't imagine they would have members from different cells come together on a single mission, on a single case. Do we think that this happened in separate locations, like this? Because they had to be admitted because something went wrong with them. Like I don't know if it's the night floors had moved and affected these people outside of this institution, or if it came to this institution and they were drawn to it. but they've escaped. And you see that she's just kind of starting to like unravel a bit and pace around the room.
I think that's a bit of an assumption, Cassandra.
They might be in there because Delta Green sent them in there to find something. There's a lot of stuff they're not telling us.
There were so many more questions I should have asked, and I didn't. And you see that she still continues to pace around the room, getting more and more frantic as she's going on.
He wasn't going to answer them anyway. These are answers we're going to have to find on our own. And honestly, sure, maybe they all had a bad job, something went wrong, and they got sent there for their own good. Maybe they were sent in there on a job. Maybe they learned something they shouldn't know, and so that's just a place Delta Green sends people to shut them up. I don't know. Anything could be possible. But it's smart, I think, to work under the assumption that the night floors are involved, and they didn't just happen to choose us for this job.
I think that's kind of the only working assumption.
Yeah, when Jenny says that, she stops a bit and she tries to like do some breathing exercises to calm herself down, and sits back down on the edge of the bed.
So while this is going on, Jenny, you decide to Google Dorchester House, and you do find their main website. You learn that it is a fully accredited psychiatric facility that focuses specifically on the treatment of violent mental illness. It also focuses on patients in high-risk groups such as military veterans, the medical field, law enforcement, and fire and rescue. It was founded in 1989 by Dr. Richard Dallin with a grant from the St. Dymphna Foundation. It's self-funded, and from what you can see, its reputation is impeccable.
So it was founded in 1989. Is there any mention of, like, I'm assuming it wasn't built in 1989, that maybe the building was something else before then?
Potentially.
Okay. I think that's what I would try to look up next, but I'd probably have to go to like a city archives or something like that to do that.
Yeah, it would definitely take you some time, probably the rest of the night, so you may want to kind of, depends on how you want to separate your time, but it would take a little bit of digging. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Noted.
I mean, hearing about this, Mark's going to say they focus on law enforcement, first responders, that sort of thing, right?
My guess is it's a cover for Delta Green agents.
Yep.
That makes sense. It also would explain how that kind of influence got in there.
Yeah. I mean, we get into enough trouble, just the four of us. Can you imagine an entire building full of people like that? Amazing something like this didn't happen sooner. Or maybe it did, and they just burnt all the evidence.
If somebody wants to dig more into the Dorchester House facility itself, you could probably pull some strings in the medical community. And then you could also research Dr. Dallin himself if you chose to.
Ooh, I don't know if I should do this or not.
What you got?
I'm wondering if she should call her therapist and be like, hey, you familiar with this dude?
Oh, okay.
I think she might send him a quick text. Or them a quick text. Because, it's not that far from where she is. It seems to be a major psychiatric facility and institution. They might have some, at least professional knowledge of Dr. Richard Grant.
Richard Dallin?
Dallin.
Well, we'll say your therapist, Dr. Grant. Since it is a little late, it does take them a little bit to get back to you. But eventually they do, and they have nothing bad to say about Dr. Dallin. He's pretty well known in the community. He's been published in numerous psychiatric journals. Has published dozens of articles on PTSD in the military and first responders. He is considered an expert in the field of treating violent psychiatric conditions, and specifically law enforcement and military PTSD.
All right, I'll share that with the group. He's very respected and well regarded within the professional community of psychiatric care.
I want to look up Elias Barbas.
Okay.
Found out that he's supposed to be a Massachusetts State Police.
Yeah, so he's got a LinkedIn profile listing his basic credentials, his history with the Massachusetts State Police with personal and official email addresses. His photos do match those of the individual you met at the briefing. And from what you can tell, no other social media accounts.
All right.
Well, if no one has any other objections, I think Jenny will spend the rest of the evening and into the night looking up the history of the building itself, seeing what existed before it,
Okay.
hopefully getting back to the point of origin and its building.
And I will say the specifics about his career, Mark, from what you can tell, he was a state police officer, and then he attended the forensic science graduate program at the Boston University School of Medicine. And afterwards, he took the job of forensic examiner, and he spent nearly a decade working crime scenes until he was actually promoted to the director of forensic science, and he's held that position for 8 years.
That's why he wants to play all these games with us.
For you, Jenny, go ahead and just roll history.
Ooh, okay. Oh, a 2.
2 out of
Happy
70. All right, taking some time over the evening, you find that the Dorchester House Psychiatric Facility, located at 48 Norwood Street in Boston, Massachusetts, was built as a boys' school by the Boston Catholic Archdiocese in 1912. The school closed in 1944, and after which it was maintained by the Archdiocese, but it remained empty until about 1955, when the South Wing was converted into the Clam Point Gymnasium, which operated for 10 years, and then it closed in 1966, after which it was briefly run as a public recreation center called the Dorchester House School, and that once again closed in 1969. It remained empty and really fell into disrepair until 1986, when it was purchased by the Dallin Company with cash provided by the St. Dymphna Foundation. It underwent about 3 years of renovations, and it reopened in 1989 as a private hospital known as the Dorchester House Psychiatric Facility.
All of those dates were like the reasons it was closed, or maybe just a pattern while it was open. Were there any kind of like tragedies or deaths involved?
No, nothing stands out about its history. Definitely not like the Macallister Building. Like no tragedies or deaths surrounding it.
Okay.
I don't know if this would be if this would be a Cassandra or a Jenny thing, but that saint, do we know what they're the saint of?
Do you look it up?
Yeah, Cassandra will mention the saint. Maybe Jenny, you could cross-reference that, see if there's any meaning behind that.
Yeah, she will do that. And yeah, I'm assuming she's like curled up on the bed, like her laptop and like a wine glass next to her, like in her PJs, just like researching and sharing information as she finds it.
Love it. Yeah. You plug Saint Dymphna into Google and it spits out that it is the patron saint of the mentally ill.
All right, that tracks. Okay, and then not related to the building specifically, but I do want to cross-reference those dates with just potential tragedies or other events that happened in Boston. So like the 1912 when it opened, 1944 when it closed, to see if there was maybe anything that happened in the town that could potentially correlate.
Because you really only have the years, you weren't able to get like exact dates. It's a little tough, but there's nothing that stands out to you.
Okay. I mean, it seems like a normal school or a normal building.
Something's nagging at me though, and it may not be anything, but the idea of we get this invite and that has this demonic sigil, this seal, and this institution used to have some connection with, I guess, the Catholicism or even the Catholic Church itself. I don't know if there's some ritual here at play or something. Maybe it's nothing.
Well, I mean, there's the book too. I mean, it's apparently a book of demonology. That's the impression I got.
You think the book that he mentioned has something to do with the Ars Goetia?
I mean,
Even the demons themselves.
well, I mentioned hydromantia, and yeah, he said no, and that seemed to check out. But maybe it's this Ars Goetia thing. I don't know. I just got that impression. Maybe it was just because of the other book we saw. Maybe I was just jumping to conclusions. Rick always used to say I jump to conclusions too much.
All right. What do we do the rest of the night, folks?
I'm gonna get some shut-eye. I am pooped.
I feel like Ira will try and get some shut-eye fairly unsuccessfully.
Okay. Do you want to make a sand check to see if you fall asleep?
Sure.
All right. And Cassie, are you staying awake? Oh, no. She's AFK.
Oh,
Gosh.
so close.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, 76 out of 74. So if you're unable to sleep, roll 1d6. All right. Yeah, you lose 2 willpower points.
Man, I started this off so good.
Well, don't forget, you get all your willpower points back. Yeah, like you should be at max.
Yeah, okay.
I think Jenny sleeps relatively well.
Okay.
This is probably more disturbing than not getting sleep, but yeah, she sleeps fine.
Good. We'll see if Cassie does. And Mark, you just calling it a night? Marky Mark?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cassie, are you going to try to sleep or are you trying to stay up?
She's riding the high. So she is going to. That's a tough question because I think what she's going to do is she's going to go back to her room. She's going to actually first get a room, and then she's going to try and calm down. I would say, is there some kind of like, what would like the Constitution saving throw be equivalent be in this? Would it be like a power save or something like that? Would it Constitution save to like see if she can come down?
I would say, yeah, I'd say just roll Constitution.
62 out of
62 out of
75.
75. Yep.
Right, so yeah, with that, she'll fight it, but she will eventually pass out, given the like overwhelming flashbacks and panics that she's gone through today. She'll just kind of submit to that.
Okay. Go ahead and roll 1d6.
Oh no. 6.
You gain 6 willpower points back,
Oh good.
up to your max. And with that, we'll pick up with the next morning, unless there was anything else anybody wanted to do.
No, I think.
Nope.
All right, so morning arrives. It is now, let me check. I believe it is now Wednesday. Wednesday, the 2nd of September. What's the plan?
Well, I was just going to say that when Cassie does wake up, she is surprised that she fell asleep and is almost panicking for a moment. She realizes that she slept completely dressed, even with her boots on. And she'll look around and see what time it is, and she'll call Mark's room if Mark answers.
Oh, sorry. Mark picks up the phone and says, "Yep, this is Mark. What's going on?"
Hey, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I'm calling you. What's the plan? What are we doing today?
We're gonna call that doctor, right? See if we can't arrange a visit.
Yeah, that's Sorry, I kind of just spaced out towards the end back there. Yeah, I'll meet you in your room. Or did you want to meet in Jenny's room again? Or
Yeah, no, you can come on over.
okay. And she'll hang up the phone. She'll down one of the flight bottles that you took from Mark and just kind of start getting ready to go over there.
Mark will just text the other two and tell them everybody's meeting in my room.
Yeah, I think Jenny was probably like down at the like breakfast bar in the hotel, so she'll get coffee for everyone and head that way.
All right.
Yeah. Cassandra will head over to Mark, knock on the door, and she'll wait for the others.
Mark comes over and opens the door and says, just a second, Cassie, I haven't prayed yet today. And he kneels down at the foot of the bed, and he's got something written out on a piece of paper. He says, Satan, I come against you in the name of Jesus Christ, by the blood of Jesus, by the word of God, by power of the Holy Spirit, and by the authority of the believer. I remind you that I sit in heavenly places with Christ Jesus. Jesus, has given me power over you, your fallen angels and your demons and all forces of evil. In the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, my deliverer, King, and Master. Amen.
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 He looks over at Cassandra and says, feel better?
Sort of, maybe. It's hard for me to think about.
You know, if you want to, I could pray with you.
I'm not sure he's listening to any of us.
Well, that's why they call it faith.
What do you think his plan is over the past 2 decades for us?
Tough one. I mean, I've lost a lot, but ain't nobody lived forever.
See that she starts to dart her eyes away. You can see that like her eyes are starting to well, and she kind of like heads towards the front door, not to leave, but just kind of like turn away from you.
You don't, if you don't want to pray about it, Cassie, you could always talk about it. Sometimes it helps.
I just want to get this over with. I just want to get the others here. I just want to get this over with. I just want to know what's going on, and I want it to stop.
Mark is gonna put his hands gently on Cassie's shoulders, and he's going to slowly start to turn her around. And if she resists, he'll let go. But
She doesn't.
he turns her around and he looks at her straight in the eye, and she says, Cassie, when you say you want to get this over with, you mean you want this mission to end, for everything to be okay, don't you?
I mean, I want it done. I want it over.
Just as long as you're planning to come out of this hole.
I don't know if I think I'm stuck down here for right now. I don't see a rope. I don't have that ladder of faith that you have. We've all lost something. This thing has taken... We haven't lost it. This thing has taken things from us. It's going to keep taking things from us until we figure out how to stop it. And I don't know how. We've spent 20 years trying to figure that out. I've spent 20 years trying to figure that out. And I don't know how to do it.
All right. That's right. Every word of that is the truth. Just as long as you promise me that you're going to keep on fighting and not give in to this.
That's why I'm here.
All right.
I'm just really stupid.
Why?
Because none of us need to put up with this.
Like it's all part of somebody's plan.
Someone's game. We don't have to be players in it if we don't want to. We're choosing to be players in it.
I'm not sure that's true.
See that she wipes a bit of a tear from her cheek, and she kind of turns towards the door and opens it a bit and sticks her head out, looking for to see if she sees any of the others coming up.
Hope Jenny brings some coffee. I could sure use some.
Yeah, me too. Black.
On cue, you hear a knock at the door.
Oh, she had the door open, so.
Okay, then you see her balancing coffee as she comes in.
Yeah, Cassandra will take half of them, kind of cupping her black coffee and handing Mark one as she lets you all in.
Yeah, I would probably come around the same time.
Yeah, I'd say Jenny too. When you see her, that you can tell that she's been crying a bit, and she'll go in and sit on the same chair that she sits in when she sat in yesterday.
Yeah, I think Jenny takes note of it, but I don't think she wants to make her more uncomfortable by being like, "Hey, are you okay?" So she just, hands her coffee, sits out some cream and sugar for everyone. And if you guys go downstairs, don't do the eggs. I think they've been sitting out for a while, but the pancakes, surprisingly good.
They got that green color to them.
They're rubbery.
Ah,
You could probably bounce
hotel
them.
eggs.
I know.
Daggone it.
Did Ira come with Jenny?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, he came.
Well,
Sorry, I said that. I'm not sure if my mic was not on or.
Oh, I didn't hear her. Sorry.
No, that's
Well,
okay. Not my fault.
well, are we going to call Dallin then?
Yeah, let's do it. See what he can tell us.
All right. Well, yeah, Mark will pick up the number and the card and dial the number from his burner phone. Pretty much everything we're doing now is from a burner phone, I'm assuming.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Smart.
We just have like a group plastic bag filled with 20 of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
One once, throw it out, and use another one.
We just robbed a Boost Mobile and just took all their stock.
Right. Yeah. So you dial the number on the card, and it only rings once before it's answered by a very kind of calm, soft-spoken man. Is Dr. Dallin?
Yeah, Dr. Dallin, this is, well, if I told you my name was Meshach, would that mean something to you?
It would. I've been expecting your call.
All right, then. Yeah. Well, we're here. We are ready to come and see what went down. What's what?
Excellent. When would you like to stop by?
No time like the present. I mean, it'll take us a little while to drive there, but we'll be there soon enough.
Perfect. I'll make sure that the orderlies are aware of your arrival, and we'll be waiting for you.
All right, then. Anything we should bring with us when we come?
Well, you'll have to check your weapons, unfortunately. This is a secure facility. I imagine if you're in our line of work, you'll be traveling armed. Just something to consider. But whatever else you think is appropriate.
All right, then. Yeah, hey, look, it's hopefully, we'll be able to get to the bottom of this really quick and move on.
I hope so too. I hope we can get our people back.
Yeah. All right, then. We'll be seeing you soon.
You will
And
indeed.
when Ira hangs up the phone, he looks directly at Ira, and when Mark hangs up the phone, he looks directly at Ira and says, "Sounds like they're going to take our weapons. I don't know if there's going to be a metal detector or not, but might want to be ready for that."
Wait, they want us to go in unarmed.
Yeah, it's a secure facility, he says.
I mean, it makes
Something.
sense.
It makes sense, but yeah.
All right. Well, you driving there?
Yeah, I'll drive.
All right.
I think it's a good place to call it for the night. We'll pick up next time with your arrival at Dorchester House.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to Delta Green Impossible Landscapes, part of the Black Project Gaming podcast. If you like what you heard, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, and be sure to visit blackprojectgaming.com for previous Delta Green episodes. You can also listen to our ongoing Waterdeep Dragon Heist and Barovia, California campaigns. If you'd like updates on all future releases, please follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Until next time, I'm Vince, your host and handler, with Brett as FBI Hostage Rescue Team Operator Ira Breuer, also known as Agent Morgan, Cami as Dr. Jenny Archer, Anthropologist and Delta Green Friendly, Doug as FBI Special Agent Mark Hansom, also known as Agent Meshach, and Jack as FBI Special Agent Cassandra Troy, also known as Agent Madison. Thank you again, and remember, we'll be seeing you.